we have Ms. Lynette Ong also, the Director of Corporate Strategies from KPP Packaging Private Limited from Singapore. She is the Director. She will enlighten us on the current challenges and opportunities in printing. Oh, sorry, that's for Josephine Lowe. We had that. Yes, now. So we'll be having her also in the gathering, and then we have Ms. Akila B from Caxton Printers. It's a leading printing press from Hyderabad, located not far from this place. Ms. Akila is from has graduated from Rochester Institute of Technology. It was supposed to be the world's most reputed institute as far as printing technology is concerned, and she has done a graduation in print management. She has moved to India to join a family business. That's a great thing, ma'am. Really. Coming back to roots is very good, actually. Before that, she worked for a year in US in one of the largest circulated children's magazines in US. Her strong areas are process controls, management information system, besides taking up challenging operations with creative value additions. We have our next panel member, Ms. Swati Katanguri. She is the Director of Hyderabad Securities and Offset Printers Private Limited. She is a graduate in engineering and computer science and joined HSOP a few years back. And as you know, HSOP is a professional printing company offering various product services, which includes not only the security side of it, also but other products. Okay, from I think related to pharma and other areas also. Pharma cartons, pharma leaflet boxes and cartons. So we have all our panel members here. So I request Mr. Jose Thomas, please come on to the dais. So please give a big round of applause. I request Ms. Lynette Ong, Director of, please be seated, sir. And request Ms. Akila, please.
Yeah, good evening. I know that it's little too late to start such a session. Yeah, but we will make it little faster and quicker for you. So first of all, let me congratulate TOPA officials for having such a session to recognize the importance of women leaders in our industry. Because you know why it is important, because we can't see a single woman on the audience now actually, except Josephine. All the women in this industry are on the stage. That's really something we shall introspect, because the gender diversity in printing industry or packaging industry is very, very low, and really it's a concern in this time. Even the politicians are talking about it. They are taking some serious action on this gender diversity. So it's very important that printing and packaging industry should also think seriously and take some steps to increase the diversity. So let us understand from these women leaders how they emerge and how they are really sustaining in this industry and what are their experience. So let me ask them some few questions to them. Let me hear from these leaders. So I'll just ask them one single question. How all of you have entered this industry, and what was any specific reason, or what was the motivation in joining this printing industry?
HiSIP, like most of you know, was established by my father in 1981. And my mother has joined him a few years later. So I've literally grown up seeing both of them work and expand the company. So they've put in a lot of effort, and they've made a lot of sacrifices to get the company to the position it is right now. So I have an emotional connection with it. And like Pradeep sir said, I was also one of the kids who was scared to, initially join the company, because I've seen the sacrifices that my parents. But when I got the opportunity to join the company, I couldn't say no because of the emotional connection, and it was like a family member to us. I jumped onto it, and I hope I take it to a better position than I inherited it.
Hi. So for me, it's actually two things and two people. The two people are my parents, my mother and my father. So the inspiration is definitely my father. Hard on the company. 25 years by the time I joined the company. So inspiration is definitely him. But the strength all in all was my mother. So the two things also is that I grew with the company and in the company. My mother herself is a daughter of a printer, so she absolutely knew the struggles of entrepreneurs and how they never showed up home, like many members have discussed here. So our dad was never home most evenings. Our home was 5-6 blocks away. She made sure that we at least had a few meals with him in our office. So we took home to office when he couldn't come home. And I think that was the best part of growing up, and that sort of filled in that family gap. She ensured we had him, and growing up in the company as such made it a very natural transition for me to choose printing as such as a choice. Like most doctors' kids would become doctors, or however that works. I guess it was just an absolute natural choice for me. So, and the second thing was sowing that seed for my RIT education. That also absolutely was my mother. Dad never told me that he wanted me in the business or what he wanted to do. I mean, we just were there, but she definitely was the backbone. She made me, she inspired me to think about it. She worked with me on making it happen, and after that, everything was just a journey.
Yes, so for me, it's similar to both of them. So I grew up in the company as well. So I can remember when we were young, me and my sister used to play around in the factory and going to different departments to actually find things to so-called play with. When others had toys, we played with paper. Yeah, I think both of you experienced that as well. Yeah, so initially it wasn't something that I chose to join the business, but I think it came very naturally. So my previous background was in finance, so I even worked in a financial consultancy firm before joining back into the printing industry. So I think that also helped me open my eyes to the rest of the world before actually joining in this industry, and also helped me bring more things into this industry and making the company grow even more forward. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So I just want to ask you the next question. See, while joining this printing industry as a woman entrepreneur, what are the challenges you faced, and how you overcome that? Can you just quickly explain?
Mostly the challenges that I face is more of printing is more of a technological, mechanical industry, not very, okay, I mean in Singapore, it's also not very widely spread in women. Yeah, so women are actually thought of doing accounts, finance, office work. Yeah, so when I go to the shop floor, I don't get to touch machines, I don't get to touch stuff. Yeah, so that's where it's harder. But then I think over the years, they have started to accept this, and they share with me much more knowledge and help me improve myself in this industry and gain more knowledge as well.
For me, I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm second generation, so the setup was there, the job was there, so I wouldn't consider that as the challenge. But having said that, the bigger challenge was what was my role there. So I wasn't a designer, I wasn't the pressman, I wasn't the finishing person. So the biggest challenge I think was figuring out, or rather carving my role in the company, trying to really see where I fit in, being present, being persistent, sort of lot of observation, figuring out what are the strengths, what are the opportunities, what are my strengths, and where I fit in. And so that itself, I think, was the bigger challenge, because it took a while to actually carve out my path of where I am in the company, like say 17 years into it. So that was my biggest challenge. Other than that, also, no matter what, where we are in the company as women, I think sometimes there is certain 25 years of the company before I came in, so there were a lot of stalwarts in across all departments. People have been there 20 years, who've seen me born also, who've seen me grown up. So I don't think it was very easy for people to outrightly accept somebody in an authoritative role. So it was up to me to figure out how to actually gently but sternly, assert my role in the company. And it was definitely helped by my cousin, Anna. So he had sort of guided me as to how I handle my things and with people across the departments. And he showed me or them as such about defining if there's a job that I'm handling, he would not entertain questions to him. So it was up to me to figure out, and it was an automatical solution that I sort of got myself to.
For me, this industry, I feel, is more conducive towards men.
True, true. We all agree that.
Like, women find it difficult to socialize and build strong relationships with everybody around them. So it's happened to me also. So we are planning right now to start hosting annual get-togethers with the top management and their families, so that all of us can socialize and build a relationship like a family, and maybe later on include everybody else, the other, go down and include all the other employees and their families, so that all of us get to know each other, build a relationship, and be more comfortable with each other and accepting of each other.
Yeah, I think that's a very valid point because everyone has commented the same. The printing industry is finding it difficult to find a role for women actually. There is no defined role, there is no action from the industry or from the entrepreneurs to find suitable positions for the women to come in and participate actively and to contribute. So that is something every entrepreneur has to think. How can you increase the gender diversity or bring in the strength of a woman and position them in the right designation actually. So that's a serious matter. And I have one more experience. I just want to share it now. So we are conducting some training programs, and one of the BTech printing college, four students came to our for an industrial exposure program. So 3 of them boys and 1 girl. So we asked them, where you want to work after this? So all the boys, they said, everyone said either marketing or pre-press. So we thought naturally the girl will say the same thing, either pre-press or some safe department. When we asked her, she said, I want to be a printer actually. I want to work on the machine. So that's the kind of attitude which is coming in, and people are ready to work actually. That like the reservations about safety, mechanical, all those things are going, and there are people, women ready to work in any of the many departments. They want to explore, they want to actively participate. But our industry is not open to such options actually. That's what from this experience we are realizing. So that's a matter we need to think seriously actually. So let me go to the next question. So what is a unique talent or unique skills this woman can bring into this print industry and help the overall industry for better quality, productivity, or better positioning actually? So what do you think is the unique skills a woman can bring into a printing press?
I feel like a diverse perspective can bring in new ideas, better outcomes, and also will be able to understand the customer's needs better and to service them in a better way.
For me, I think women actually bring in a good aesthetic sense, and print industry is all about that. Like the end product should be absolutely beautiful. And as a woman, I mean, a good job, when I work on it, it definitely gives me a dopamine kick, and I mean, I see it. So I feel women can do that better than men, and also we are still very conventionally the consumer. Absolutely, we might be in business, we might be in a workplace, but we definitely still run our households. So I think the end user approach is on our mind way better than any man can actually imagine. So I think that also adds value to how we do as such the job. And actually, on contrary to what the conversation was, I feel women are there in the industry in a lot of roles, just not the pressmen or whatever. And it's actually a very women-friendly industry. Like finishing-wise, also I see a lot of women working. You know, the hands-on skill. In the absolute non-automated manual operations, it's mostly women who are more productive and more active.
Yes.
Yeah, so I also think that women bring a softer side to things. So I think we have more emotions. Yeah, so we also bring like in printing it's always very rough, very technical. So when women come in, I think people will see it as a more friendly, more family like industry, because I think many of us in the printing industry are family businesses also. Yeah, so that's where we bring everyone together, like not only employees, like what you mentioned, you aim to have annual gatherings with your top management. So like us in Singapore, we actually have it twice a year. Yeah, so it's for everyone in the company, not only the top management. Yeah, so I think this is something that women drive towards to have everyone included. Yeah.
Yeah, I expected one more in our process. Yeah, so now I want to ask you little more personal, like how will you balance this personal life and professional life? Like most of the men after the press, they just go home and maybe relax, but you can't obviously you can't do that actually. So how will you balance your personal life and professional pressures in this printing industry?
I think for me, I actually bring it home as well, but more of like sharing it with my friends and family. Yeah. So actually, all my friends know what I do, and like they get included inside also, like including my family. So for the gatherings that we go to, the company gatherings, my family goes for them as well. So everyone gets included. Yeah.
For me, Lilith mentioned, most businesses are family-run business, so I think that's the advantage we can leverage on, and I have done that. So I have a 7-year-old daughter, and ever since she's been a year and a half, office is second home to her, and I've kept her at work after school when she was at school till 11, and now when she's at school till 3. So I try to make the most of it, where I, as much as I can, keep her there. Other than her, say, fitness or physical activity classes, of course I have to take her out. But thanks to COVID, we do have a lot of other classes online now. So I make the most of it. I fall back on family if I have to step out. I have Anna or Padnana. My dad was available at work to sort of back up when I needed to. So and of course before my daughter was born, I was at work. Obviously, the balance was very easy, but I just made the most of it by, making use of very much the family-run concept and, making space to balance out work and life. And our industry is absolutely a physical presence industry. We cannot work virtual. It hasn't worked for me, at least. Considering the size of companies that we are in, it's not like we have very many layers of top management and we just make a call and it goes through. It doesn't. So I think that was the best way it worked for me.
For me, I believe I also believe in having like a strong support structure at home and at work. So fortunately, my husband is also my partner in my career. He helps me. My in-laws, everybody are there to help me take care of the kids and let me work when I'm not there. And also I have a very good support structure at work, thankfully. I have a very good, strong, dedicated team who I can rely upon. Even if I have to leave for a bit and go attend my personal work, they are there to take care of everything at work. So I'm lucky that way.
So one of my last question is, do you have any suggestion about how can we increase this diversity, like, or how can we ensure that more women comes to this industry? What is it? Can you give one suggestion at least?
I would say giving equal opportunity to men and women, being a good women leader will itself, inspire people, more women to stand up and take up challenges and take up these kind of roles and do a good job. That's all.
Opportunities are definitely more than the challenges, at least from what I have seen, that we have leveraged what we have. And I would still say, like, as long as it's a family business and there's people around, there's always ways to work around. So it's up to the first gen entrepreneurs and the company owners to encourage the next generation and not really tell them that, yeah, you can't get the Lamborghini or the... I think it's just all about the mindset of the family and how the kids are brought into the business.
So for me, I think in Singapore it's a bit different. So Singapore, everyone has every, like, they know about everything. They do what they want to. Yeah, and so to get people interested in printing, actually, I think many women, they are in the creative sector, but they still do not know what printing is. So to them, printing is just printing on a machine and I just get the final product out. Yeah, so there are many other processes that we all do during printing production. Yeah, so I think this widespread knowledge should be spread across to everyone. And when people know more about printing, they'll get interested in printing, and then maybe more women will be coming on board. Yeah.
I think that's an interesting point. Like we need to create the awareness that there are opportunities for women. There are multiple roles or interesting roles for women, and that education awareness can help to bring in more women to this industry, and that will definitely help in many aspects. Like not only for gender diversity, it bring in a lot of talent and potential to the printing industry to be better respected, better treated by other industries or our customers actually. So with this, we will end this session. Thank you for all the participants, Swati, Agila and Lynette, to actively participate this, sharing your insights. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to add to what you just said. I think that awareness starts at home with existing printers than
with
really
entrepreneurs.
It outside
Yes,
the industry.
yes. So, yeah. That message is very important. Like you have to start from your home at least. Like then only it will inspire others. Like without doing that, there is no point in talking to others. Good point.